What's up, guys? Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Something crazy happening right now in Teleria and Raid Shadow Legends. We've got something brand new on the horizon, the new feature coming to Raid. It's just a preview right now, so in the future, I'm going to have more information coming out on this feature, which is going to be the Grim Forest. So let's get into the info deck of fate. I'm going to go over everything with you and go from there. So let's get it. All right, so here we are, the Grim Forest. Pretty sweet new content dropping in Raid very soon. The feature is called the Grim Forest. You'll unlock it at level 55 for an account, so fairly late. This is going to be more later game, closer to end game content for most. It's going to have a normal mode and a hard mode similar to Cursed City, right? And a hidden region within the hard difficulty for those who seek trials that are steeped in torment. So that means there's a normal mode, hard mode, and essentially a nightmare mode, but it may not be called that. It may be called something else, but just a harder mode for end game players that seek more difficult content. Resources. In order to progress in the Grim Forest, you'll need to require Distorted Energy, which is a specific Grim Forest resource used to perform various actions on the map. And the map is covered by a mysterious fog that only retreats when you clear a stage. So essentially, if you've ever played Age of Empires, for example, I love that game, where you're walking around the map, the entire map is covered or shrouded in a fog or in a black mist, and as you're walking through, the map starts to uncover. So this is kind of very similar vibes in that sense, but you do have to beat content in order to unlock another area of the map. So you could also consider this being like something like an Elden Ring reference, where Elden Ring, you're also unlocking the map as time goes on, as you're beating enemies and finding new areas of the game. So this is very similar. Do you see the location of other stages? You do see the other location of the stages on the map, even if their content is remain unknown until you approach. So that's kind of nice. Rotations, like the Doom Tower and the Cursed City, the Grim Forest will also work on a monthly rotation. So it's very similar to kind of the content we have, but just a sort of new type of finesse to it. However, unlike those two modes, the Grim Forest map will not stay the same. Each rotation will bring about changes as stages shift around and adjust their positions. Furthermore, the maps on normal and hard difficulties will differ as well, but do not feel intimidated. Regardless of the difficulty, you'll find aid while exploring the map. So let's see the feature preview, the stages. A wide array of stages types awaits. Some will greet you with steel and bloodshed, while others will promise various treasures. The path you choose will shape the fate of your expedition, which means you can take multiple paths to make it to the end, which is kind of cool. I do like that. So it constantly rotates, changes where you're going to be going and who you're going to be fighting on the map constantly. Team decks do not, and of course at the end of it, like once you've beaten all the content over a certain amount of months, I assume that it won't like be different anymore. So just similar to the Cursed City, once you beat all Cursed City rotations, then you're kind of used to it. So it's going to be similar to this. So it might take you 3 to 6 months, maybe up to a year plus to beat this content once you're in the end game. So, but for most who are really end game, who have every champion at their disposal, you'll probably be able to beat it in a very shorter period of time. So team deck, so do not expect to command a full might of every champion you have summoned and lead them all into the Grim Forest. Only a select few will aid you in this journey, so you will have to choose wisely. Parallel progression. The Grim Forest is not a place where you mindlessly progress through the stages to face the final enemy. Exploration is an important part of the journey. Various treasures you find along the way will boost your team's morale and grant your champions special boons, making them fiercer and stronger while in the Grim Forest. So if you don't have a wide variety of powerful champions at your disposal, do take your time looking for hidden treasure chests throughout the map. They will be proving to be of great help. Rewards. Not all treasures claimed within the Grim Forest will fade with the next reset. So you can potentially get that same reward on the following reset, and it won't be changed, which is kind of nice. Many rewards may be carried beyond its borders, enriching your account long after the mist closes. So that's kind of cool. So I wonder if you can farm the same location multiple times with the what is it called? The distorted energy. So if you beat a stage, but you can't manage to beat the next stage, I'm reading it in a sense where you can just farm the previous stage that you've already beaten. You just can't progress further, but you can get whatever the rewards are over and over on that stage. Not sure. That's just what I'm assuming. I could be wrong though. Now, in terms of the Grim Forest lore, let me go over some info here. So, a couple of questions and feedback that we've already had. So there were questions that were answered in the content creator chat already. So one was, let's see, they'll be sharing some info about skill sets of every boss for us. So keep in mind and stay tuned for when they bring out that special info. What are boons? There will be several ways to increase your team power specific to this game mode, and they'll release more content about it before the release of this new game mode. The rewards. They can't say anything about the rewards just yet, but they said they're sure that folks can name a few that usually come with such content. So a couple of things that come with content. If I'm looking at Curse City, let's just go right over to here, Curse City. So I'm assuming that they're going to have similar rewards from Curse City, kind of leaning over into the Grim Forest. So you can get yourself Basalt 4-star in the highest stages. You can get 1,000 Eternal Soul Coins. I really hope they do put in more of these Star Stones. So maybe they can give a ton of Star Stones on certain stages of the Grim Forest. That will help us tremendously in swapping our relics around, because that can be a little bit frustrating when trying to compete in your end game content for PvE, such as Faction Wars Hard or Curse City, and you're going to need to swap more gear around for the Grim Forest as well as relics. So having more of the Star Stones, or I think that's what they're called, but these things right here, Star Stones, then it will be more helpful and impactful to swap gear around, or rather the relics for your champions, and the gemstones that you have to place in the relics as well cost Starstone. So another question that came up was, as for champions per stage, no one said anything about the champions per stage. So each stage is going to be a little bit different. So champions per stage, we don't know how many champions we're going to be able to bring in for each stage. Are we going to be able to use any champion possible? It does feel like Cintranos 2.0, they said, but a bunch of new secret rooms that you can see how it could be similar based on me reading this, but they said the map is not static, so it doesn't stay the same like it is for Curse City, whereas Curse City, every rotation stays exactly the same like this. However, for the Grim Forest, the positions of all these different fights, like D16, it might not be here, it might be over here, and it might require you to fight a different boss or do something slightly different. Each rotation will be a lot different. It's not linear. It's unlike Curse City, they said, and you have an option to go around the challenging stages. So if there was a challenging stage here, I might have different routes that I could take to go around that stage and then not worry about it, but still get to the final boss potentially. So that's really nice. Another question is, will there be new rewards specifically farmed from the forest, new gear set relics, etc.? Will there be a new champion? Yes, there will be new rewards exclusive to this game mode. That's all they said so far. And then the last question I have here is, where is the content position in terms of difficulty? Level 55 seems to rank it quite late relative to other content. Normal mode is for players 55 plus that have at least 20-ish good built champs. Hard is truly for late game, the hard mode of course. So it will be challenging, but there are parallel progression. You will have an option to strengthen your team with special boons that you earn while exploring the map. So if you're struggling, you'll have to explore more to level up your team. If you're bashing through every encounter, you can opt into short route and clear the rotation even faster. So you can take a shorter route if you're really end game and just crush all the content super fast, or you can take your time and go around the entire map, and that's more for the people that are struggling, who need to build their team up through the power of boons, and then you can destroy that new content. So those are the questions and answers that we got from content creators and the managers of the content creator program. So let's see the lore here. The Dance of Darkness was Lumaya and Sirot's last act of creation. The goddess of light was pushed into taking part by the shadow god, whose desire to bring new things into existence was insatiable. To this day, he desires to dance again and again to create more and more. Siroth led the dance, his steps, twists and leaps, furious and ambitious. Lumaya was resistant from the start, her movements in comparison stilted and slow. Thus did the influence of shadow and darkness affect their creations more and more as their waltz sped up and was distorted. Beasts of terrifying appearance and deep malice emerged from the waters of life. So the waters of life, that's going to be interesting. So it's going to be some type of lake or swamp, waters of life, but that was not all. Teleria itself was changed. Waves of energy rippled from the waters of life. Entire land masses were birthed, possessing that same malevolence and predatory hunger as the worst of the monsters that were created. Many defied description, behaving in according to no laws of space or time. That's interesting. No laws of space or time. People that are going to be like shapeshifters, people that are going to be teleporting, swirling up from the depths of the ocean, or forming as fonts of lava cooled to the birth the new islands. So these are going to be new champions that are coming into the game, new enemies coming into the game that look like lava cooled to birth the new islands. Interesting. So you're going to have some type of lava champions, maybe some type of, Loch Ness monster-esque champions, maybe. Who knows? One such ground is known by many names to many peoples, for it is no static place. It drifts Teleria's seas as a thick cloud of gloom and fog, sometimes even melding with the lands if it so chooses before breaking away, according to whims ineffable to all. The most common name for this place, whispered in Anhelt's storm-racked fishing villages, the mangrove dwellers of Eastern Yakai. The mangrove dwellers. Eastern Yakai sounds like some that sounds like either Sylvan Watchers, or that also could sound like Shadowkin. And Port Wretched of the Gloom Deep Hold is the Gloomlands. Okay, so these are different areas. So there's the racked fishing villages, the mangrove dwellers of Eastern Yakai, and the Port Wretched of Gloom Deep Hold is the Gloomlands. So there's the Gloomlands on the map, so keep that in mind if you can envision it in your head. It's a simple moniker, one that will, when examined in its written form, only might even seem tame, but is spoken with terror by most, paired with the making of protective gestures or the kissing of protective charms. So there's going to be like types of charms here for boons. I would assume the charms are boons. The Gloomlands is itself a kind of creature. Oh. Sentient, conscious, capable of feeling pain and anger. Its malice is siren-like, its call seducing, tempting and encouraging, cajoling or coercing those who hear it and seek it out. The Gloomlands itself is a kind of creature? So the land itself has some sort of, I don't know, like a paranormal-esque type of, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. So is it like a siren? Kind of like one of those sirens that you see? There's like a show called Siren, but it's really just what's those creatures in the sea? Those sea monsters, the sea woman, whatever you call them. Let me know in the comments down below. Furthermore, it has a will. By its very nature, it wants to live and lure mortals, granted a sense of self-preservation that all created beings possess. Grim Forest lore, those who reach the lands find a place that mystifies the mind. It is a land where frozen tundras meet tangled forests that meet sulfuric wastes. Some waterfalls flow up, time fluctuates, thorny pulsing roots reach hungrily throughout the landscape, unbothered by freezing cold or searing heat. No matter its location in the world, the lands does not conform. The bitter, murderous cold of the Winterlands does not snuff out its volcanoes or freeze its rivers, volcanoes. The brutal humidity of the Lost Isles does nothing to thaw its snows. Typhoons bypass it, unless the lands desire their presence. Castles and ruins and settlements built in the manner of multiple peoples dot the landscapes. Each now has the styles of many kingdoms incorporated, as sailors and soldiers from those places have come to the lands and restored them. Beneath the ground run mortal-made tunnels, the work of dead generations who have come before, though not all of them rest. Wittingly or otherwise, they serve as guardians for the abundance of wealth and treasure the lands hold, centuries worth of coin, weapons, and tomes lost or abandoned by those who reached it. Once a being, mortal or otherwise, was reached the lands, they almost never leave. They cannot. The land does as it wills with them, consuming their mind and body. Here, Teleria's very ley lines are warped and tangled, meaning even one soul is at terrible risk. Every visitor and inhabitant's facet of character, every strength and weakness, is as readable to their sinister land home as a book written for children. The place exaggerates those traits it wills, almost always the darkest. Those for whom silver and gold are paramount become obsessed. Those prone to outbursts of anger become fury mad manifest. This is funny. This is just going to be telling of, do they have a lot of silver that you can get from this? Can you farm a bunch of silver in the Grim Forest possibly? And then obviously it's going to be difficult, right? Content. So people are going to be forever raging without abatement. The envious are reduced to self-loathing abominations, bitter and hateful of all. Sounds like the community sometimes. I'm just joking, but like literally in content, when I say this, sometimes people complain about content because they can't beat it, and so we become abominations, bitter and hateful of all. You know, that does happen. All are twisted toys of twisted sentience, and they have little love for new arrivals. Are they talking about us? I'm just joking. But here's the visual asset, which looks really cool, by the way. You can see the beings in the background here. So really, really cool. Let's take a look at this video as well. And this is on the Raid Shadow Legends page. So I'm going to go ahead and expand it. Let's watch this together. Make myself a little bit smaller. I haven't watched this yet, so let's see. Oh my god, it's Horden. Oh look, it's Firol. Okay. Interesting. Okay, interesting. So that's very little information. Of course, they're going to share more information within a week or so for all the content creators. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be bringing out more information, more videos on this new content, the Grim Forest. Are you excited about this? Does it not excite you much at all? This is a Black Friday pack, by the way. 100% off, $19. Reasonable offering, to be honest, for players in the player base. $19.99 for all this is pretty dang good, and also comes with an avatar. One of the better offers they've ever made. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you on a video soon. Take care.